Hey there lovelies and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title of today's video, we're going to be reacting to Agust or Suga with Haegeum, which I'm super excited for. I've heard great things about this one. I've had so many people recommend this one to me, so I can't wait to get into this video and see what I can expect. But before we do, if you guys are new to the channel, then welcome and thank you for joining. Make sure to click on that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with what I post on this channel. And while you're at it, why not leave a like on this video as well? It really does help me to see what you're enjoying watching so I can keep making more videos like this. But with all that being said, I'm just super excited to get into this, so let's do it. I have no idea what to expect when it comes to this, so I'm super excited. Oh, I'm loving all the colours. Beautiful. Oh, what's going on here? What's happening? He looks stunning. Just gotta say that off the bat. Okay. What's going on? What's happening? Are we part of some group? I mean, they were just trying to eat their noodles, guys. That's all they were trying to do. Oh, this is gonna be absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Okay. What are we gonna do with those chopsticks? I got my answer, didn't I? All right, August D. What are we saying? Listen, we don't want to be messing with him. I think that's fair to say. I see that now. Okay, he's absolutely fire, isn't he? That intro, it was like I was watching a movie, number one. Like the videography and almost like the cinematography it felt like of it was phenomenal, just have to say that. But already this song is sounding like it's gonna hit hard, so I just need to get straight back into it. Lively rhythm, true. Hey. Just gotta say, this suit is a moment. It really is a moment with the jacket as well, like the little... I love it. It looks fantastic. E means business. E means business. Get on board now. I'm already on board. Yeah, I was on board quite a while ago, actually, to be honest. August D. I'm already there. It is a great rhythm. I love that. Oh, I feel like it's going to be another one of those songs, isn't it, where it's talking about just like being able to speak your truth and be who you are. Freedom of speech, everything's up for everybody's own interpretation. Like we should be able to be who we want to be and be able to speak our minds and be able to, you know, fully express ourselves and not have to worry about what anybody else says or thinks about that, you know? Out with the nonsense. Wow. Oh my gosh. This song, whoa. Hang on. This is hitting deep. Him just saying as well, like thoughts and actions have such massive consequences on such a, you know, a wide scale. I need to go back. So much is going on. He is honestly, this is phenomenal. I feel like as well this song is basically saying life can be so contradicting in that fact. Like ultimately being able to speak your truth and being able to have your own thoughts and your own feelings and your own judgments can also be the loss of that freedom in a sense as well. Like this world that we live in is so complex and just conflicting in the way that we think and the way that we act and in the way that the world works. I feel like sometimes there are those blurred lines when it comes to what's right and what's wrong within the world and when it comes to being able to speak your mind. Like ultimately I feel like everybody is always for talking openly and talking freely, but as well as that, when people do end up doing that, there are negative backlashes when it comes to that. And it's like ultimately him just saying in this song, like sometimes being able to speak your mind freely can also be detrimental in a sense. Like we all search and talk about and speak about that freedom, But that sense of freedom and that sense of expression, it can be almost like taken away by other people in a sense.
편견의 자유 어쩌면 누군가의 조금 잘고백한 자유일런지 당신의 판단과 추측이 확실한 신념들이 있는지 당신의 자유와 타인의 자유가 동일하다 믿는지 그렇다면 주저 말고 올라타봐 금지된 것들로부터 해봐 각자의 취향조차 이해들을 못하는 불행한 시대를 살아가는 이들.
Wow. This song I feel like is one that I'm going to be listening to later and really going through again and listening and, you know, taking all the lyrics in even more, because I think that it's one that really does just make you think. You know, it's one of those ones that I feel like really will start a conversation, because I do feel like as well he's sort of saying, you know, in the world that we live in today, a lot of things are sort of put upon us. Like a lot of things are influenced to us into our lives, things that maybe we don't even notice sometimes, but I feel like there is definitely that sense of, as time's gone on and as the world keeps on progressing and more things keep on changing, it is almost like we're losing a bit of a sense of humanity in a way, because there are just these things that are like predicted for us. There are these things that are already, you know, expected of us. There are these things that are pushed upon us. And I think that in a sense does almost hinder people sometimes in being able to be themselves and being able to live the life they want to lead and being able to understand what truly is right for them. And I think that sometimes that can be something that I don't even think we think about on like a daily basis, but really it is something that does affect us in our daily lives. Like there is so many things that we do or that we say or that we, you know, have be part of our daily routine that I feel like have been slowly but surely influenced to us. And I think that him just really highlighting that in this song, it really does just make you think, doesn't it?
것들로부터 해봐 각자의 취향조차 이해들을 못하는 불행한 시대를 살아가는 이들을 위한 이 노래는 금지된 것을 푸는 것뿐이지 허나 자유와 방종의 차이지만 부디.
Oh, you must remember to differentiate freedom from self-indulgence. Wow, that is a bar right there. There is a difference in being able to feel liberated in yourself and being able to express who you truly are and being able to understand, you know, and appreciate others for who they are as well as yourself. There's a difference in that and being able to, you know, choose whatever path you want to, than self-indulging yourself in this world and really just taking advantage of things that you are able to grasp just because you have more of an advantage. There is a difference. Love that line. Honestly, I will say as well, I've only heard one other song from Agust or Suga before, and I really will say that his music is one that does just really resonate a lot, I think, because it does just hit deep. It does really have such an impactful message behind it. And I think that him really coming to his music and being able to share such harsh realities and really just be like, look, listen to this song and understand that whilst we're, you know, able to create such great rhythm, like you were saying earlier on, you know, like this is such a lively rhythm, take in what I'm trying to say, like take in the real message behind this, because these words matter, like this song matters.
된 것을 푸는 것뿐이지 허나 자유와 방종의 차이지만 부디 구분하길 이 노래는 해금 올라타봐 지금 복작되는 리듬 또 다른 해금 이 노래는 해금 올라타봐 지금 복작되는 리듬 어쩌면 이 또한 또 다른 해금 이 노래는 해금
I'm loving the vibe of this song, you know.
복작되는 리듬 어쩌면 이 또한 또 다른 쏟아지는 정보들은 상상의 자유들을 금지시킨 가동시에
Whoa, hang on, hang on, that's going too quick, it's going too quick. Wow, listen, these bars are unreal. The way that he's just said, endless influx of information prohibits freedom of imagination. Like constantly being told and being pushed forward all of these things from all of these different parties. It's like ultimately how are we expected to be able to think for ourselves, to be able to be creative, to be able to have these things that we are able to think of in a different way and come up with these different ideas and different, resolutions for things when we're already being given the answers before we've even got the chance to even think for ourselves. I feel like these days we've been almost made to feel as if we just need the answer quickly. Like we just need to, type something in to a search forum and be like, what's the answer? But we don't get to actually think for ourselves. We're just being told almost like what is right. We're being told and led in a way of just having that expectation of the answer just always being there for us. So much so that, like you said, we just aren't even able to think or have that imagination anymore. This song is so good. The way that he said as well, seeks conformity of thought. Like, we're just being confined into a specific box. Like, we don't even get to think outside of that box anymore because that box is already drawn for us. And that thought is unreal. Absolutely. This song is so, so deep. I love it. Oh my gosh, I've just realised as well. There is so much meaning to having that goldfish, isn't there? There is so much meaning because it's almost like he's saying, we don't even get to think for ourselves. We don't even get to have that imagination anymore. And obviously that comparison is that their thought process is so slim. Oh my gosh, that is just so amazing, isn't it? That is, the symbolism in that, wow. He's just really speaking truth right now, isn't he? Let's be honest, and I'm here for it. I feel like it's one thing to, have all of these thoughts and, express them, but it's another thing to be able to do it so creatively through the arts like this. And I think that is what I really admire about Agust or Suga, is that he's not afraid to speak the truths and the matter of facts as to what's going on in the world and be able to do it in a way in which it can reach and make people listen even more. And I think that using his music, using that platform that he has to really say, like, just take a moment to sit back and listen with this song to everything that I'm saying and understand what is actually going on. I think that it's just amazing, isn't it? Like, it's one of those things these days where I feel like that is just the leading factor in a lot of people's minds, is that it's always constantly seeking a way of, being able to make money or being able to, constantly think about the next scheme that's gonna be able to bring you that wealth in. But it's like, ultimately, when all is said and done, yes, money can be a great thing, but ultimately, what does that lead you to in a sense of your own happiness and fulfillment in life? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, again, it's all man-made. Like, money is a man-made system, something that, man created to almost have that control yet again, because it is just that system of, relying on a source that is from a third party. And it's like, it is just one of those things where it's like, you're just living life to conform to that sense of control in each and every way you look into it, Hang on. Wait, what? YouTube's getting a call out? Oh my gosh, stop it. Do you know what? It is so true, isn't it? I feel like it is one of those things. That is another thing as well. We were talking about influence earlier on, and obviously YouTube is one of those things that is definitely, one of the growing factors in that influence being put upon people. I feel like YouTube, I feel like was one of the first things before obviously we had all of these other apps like, Instagram and Twitter and whatever else it may be. Well, X now, but you know what I mean. Before all of these platforms, I feel like YouTube was one of those leading ones that really did bring that influence, and it really was the start of almost a sense of social networking in a way, Just think him saying, we are just all constantly in that thought process of gossiping about other people, talking about other people, comparing people, trying to one up one another, or like you said, flexing, like trying to show off to people. And it is just almost like he was saying earlier on, don't mistake freedom with self-indulgence. And it is almost like in that sense, when we're looking at the bigger picture in terms of social media, I do feel like a lot of the times that self-indulgence does really come through in certain aspects and in certain people. Obviously, there are a lot of exceptions in that, but I do feel like sometimes there are those people who do come across that way in a sense, and there is that lack of understanding that sometimes that can be such like a negative impact on a lot of people, and I think it can definitely be detrimental to a lot of people watching these sorts of people who are feeling lesser than because of somebody else's advantages in a way, I guess. This song is just too good. It really is. I feel like as well, it is just that thing of we have just become so self-reliant on things like technology, technology, the use of, like I was saying earlier on, being able to just have the answer to everything at your fingertips and not even have to think of it yourself. Like it is almost like you don't even need the ability to process information because you've got your phone or your computer or your laptop or whatever device it may be that will process information for you. And it is just almost like, well, what is left of humanity then? Like what is left of us if we can't even think for ourselves anymore, if we don't have that imagination, that creativity? Like we are all just sort of in a way following the leader, in a sense of confining ourselves to being taken over by, all of these different things. And it really, this song, I think so far, this one has really just hit hard for me. And I think that this one for me has really just stood out from any other song that I've heard so far from these solo songs because it really does just make you think and stop for a second. Just like really gone off the rails. Everyone's divided and blinded by envy and jealousy, and that is so true. It really is. It almost feels like the world has shifted in a way where it is just like it's like sometimes it feels like a sense of competition. And I don't know where that came from or when that started, but I feel like it's probably always been there lingering. But for some reason, over the past, I want to say 10 years, I feel like it's come about even more. And I think that has been vastly because of the growth in social media and the way that, social media works. I think there is definitely positives to social media, there's definitely positives to technology, but I think that the advance in it and the way that it's moved has sort of negatively impacted the progression that we had with social media and with technology in a sense. Like I feel like there's so many great things that can come from it. Like we can obviously have answers to things that we may not have had answers to before. Like we can, utilize this technology to ultimately benefit others, and we can sometimes create foundations like communities through social media, through platforms, and we are able to meet people we wouldn't have been able to meet and share things we wouldn't have been able to share. But ultimately there is always that negative part to all of this, that is ultimately that sense of hatred, jealousy, envy. I do think that can be quite a sad thing sometimes because it can be used for such positive and amazing things, but I feel like a lot of the time there is just that unfortunate divide in people when it comes to the way in which they utilize that technology. Close my eyes and I'm so oblivious. Oh, do you know what as well? It's like he's just saying, if I close my eyes and I'm oblivious, everything just seems a lot easier. Like I'm just moving along life as if nothing's going on and, I can just pretend that nothing's happening. And while it seems okay to do that, ultimately, all of us, without even realizing it, are, like he's saying, blinding ourselves to what's actually going on and the way the world actually works. And him just saying, realizing that we're putting shackles on each other without even understanding that we're doing that. Like we are literally confining ourselves in so many different ways that we don't even see and really understand and comprehend because we're constantly being distracted from that. We're constantly trying to make excuses for these things, but there is no excuse in the fact that we are almost just all being led in a way. It is just so true.
따라서 뻔히 갈리는 결의식이와 질투에 다들 말해놓은 둘이만은 서로가 서로에게 족쇄를 거는 것도 모른 채 정보의 쓰나미에서 쓸려 내려가지 말길 우린 자유와 방종의 차이지만 모두 구분하니 yeah. 이 노래는 해금 올라타봐 지금 복작되는 리듬.
It is almost like as well, you know, this shot here I feel like is so impactful because it is almost just like sometimes you have all of these thoughts. You know, he was just saying, you know, this is a tsunami of information that I'm putting into this song. So try not to feel overwhelmed. But I feel like this shot is just almost like we are sometimes so afraid to even speak our truth because we don't know the outcomes of what that will mean. You know, it feels like almost as if in this shot, it is just almost like sometimes it does feel like you're being controlled to the point of you're even too scared to be able to speak about all of these things that you are thinking because it does just feel like there's always somebody there to come back at you with whether that is their words, whether that is their negativity, whether that is, you know, their opinions, or whether that is sometimes, you know, speaking your truth. It can ultimately lead to situations like this, which it just really makes you think and it makes you stop for a second and just wonder why is it that the freedom of our own words and the freedom of our own thought can ultimately lead in tragedy sometimes, you know? Oh my gosh, it's like he's battling himself as well, like his own thoughts, his own mind. I just feel so like emotionally overwhelmed by this song. I don't know why it's making me feel emotional, I don't know. But right now it just I think that shot there as well was the thing that really just hit me the most because it is just almost like there was almost like two versions of himself, I feel like, and him saying earlier on, you know, that self-indulgence and then the freedom. It was almost like those two things battling themselves out and, you know, him just being sat there with the other version of himself, which is almost like that self-indulgent side almost. And almost like trying to drown out his voice, trying to drown out his feelings, trying to drown out his freedom of speech. It just hit. That was just so powerful. I think that's what it is. It was just so powerful. That imagery right there really was unbelievable. 이 노래는 해금 yeah. 올라타봐 지금 yeah. 복작되는 리듬 어쩌면 이 또한 또 다른 해금 yeah. 이 노래는 해금 yeah. 올라타봐 지금 yeah. 복작되는 리듬 어쩌면 이 또한 또 다른 해금 yeah. 이 노래는 해금 yeah. 올라타봐 지금 yeah. 복작되는 리듬 어쩌면 이 또한 또 다른 해금 yeah. 이 노래는 해금 yeah. 올라타봐 지금 yeah. 복작되는 리듬 어쩌면 이 또한 또 다른 해금 yeah. Oh, wow. 또 다른 해금. I am blown away. Genuinely blown away by that. That ending. Wow. I genuinely feel like speechless because it's like, what more can you say about how incredible that was and how impactful and meaningful that song was, because I genuinely don't think I've ever seen something that really has moved me quite so much. Like like right at the end there, I couldn't even speak because it just felt so, like I felt like I was just taken over by the whole message of the song. Like the way that he ultimately fought back at that like second persona of himself, which was that more, self-indulgent, that one that was more confined to the realities of the world, in being, really trying to take advantage of that sense of freedom, that sense of creativity, that sense of empowerment, and him coming back at that by, trying to ultimately kill that higher power, that system. But ultimately it just felt like, even though he was able to overthrow that power, that sense of confinement was still there in a way. This song just hits so different, and I feel like I just feel like I'm absolutely blown away. The beat was phenomenal. The song itself was incredible. Everything about this music video was mind-blowingly amazing. I just don't even have the words. I don't even have enough power in my own words to explain how incredible that was. Like, there's just not enough words to describe it. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching along this video with me. If you did, like I said, make sure you're clicking that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with what I post on this channel. And while you're at it, why not leave a little like on this video as well? It really does help me to see what you're enjoying watching, so I can keep making more videos like this. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along this video. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.